So I'm actually sitting here in my car. I'm still at Whitton Park, and I was reading my journal because it's almost well, it's just past 6 o'clock. There are people going away. I'm sitting in my car. I'm reading my book. I found like a nice spot where I can actually be quiet and silence and everything. There is a nice breeze, and the leaves are moving. And I've been taken back. If you've got to think that it's 2017 now, I've been taken back to, I would say, 1987, 1988. I wrote down some notes, and I'm trying to. I didn't want to wait before doing this video because I'm trying to transmit what actually I was feeling and I was going through as an experience, which happened to me also last year, and it created me somehow a sense of anxiety, so I brushed it off. Anyway, let me see if maybe you can actually see a bit better of me, or maybe it's a bit too much. Anyway, so it's really bothering me. Anyway, so I could actually smell the sea from back home. I mean, there is no smell of sea here because I'm in Blackburn in full Lancashire, so there is no sea close to me. But originally I'm from, let's call it the area Venice. So there is like a lagoon, there is a bay, and there is like marshland, and there is this kind of smell of, very strong smell of sea salt and diesel, the smell of marina, rotten crabs, and somehow in the distance I don't know, people barbecuing fish, so I can smell parsley and garlic and lemon, and I could hear people laughing in the distance, and these whiffs of smell of grill and barbecue are coming to me, and I can hear people in this very moment, like in 1987, 1988, possibly 1989, 1990. I'm actually lounging. There are some very big plastic lounges in this marina around the swimming pool. I'm one of the last ones to be left there, and I'm just lying underneath two big pine trees, like Mediterranean pine trees, and I think it's just probably me, and my ex-husband is on a boat, probably cleaning engines, doing something, tooting around something, messing about, doing some stuff, and I'm actually sitting there. I just had probably the last swim of the day, probably, I don't know, 7 o'clock. There is still warm, people are going in and out of the shower blocks, and you can start smelling some exotic shower jars with, I don't know, pomegranate and lime. So think back anyway, still like the early 90s, late 80s, and my skin is definitely, if it is July, I've been lounging in the sun probably almost every weekend since May. So May, June, July, 3 months, so my skin must be particularly dark, and you've got this saltiness on your lips and on your skin, and I'm thinking about food, I'm thinking about dinner, and these like creams, like après solaire kind of stuff, like ambre solaire creams that you would put on, and then loads of mosquitoes. So you've got your perfume, your deodorant, your shower gel, your cream for the sunburn, and then probably you also have some like anti-mosquito spray, and you've got like high heels and nice skirts, but your skin is like tense, and it's getting like very dry very very quickly, because of course you've been in the sun and in the sea the whole day, and I don't know, I can remember the noises, the sounds of the water taps on the pontoon, and the lapping of the sea on the boat, and these very big sailing boats coming into the harbour. So they've got this classical diesel sailing boat exhaust that goes, and it was like a classical thing, and it was like the soundtrack of my holiday. Incredibly beautiful, amazing, and sweet, and call it whatever you want. But what I'm left at the end of this, an evening like this, and this kind of temperature now in my car with the little sun going down and the lights, I'm actually left with an incredible sense of anxiety and panic attack, and existential anxiety when all of this is gone. And I remember in 1988, it was the 15th of August, I actually had a massive panic attack. One day probably will make a video about that. And I've lost memory. I've completely lost the plot. Now I zeroed myself, and at the age of 1988, I was 21, because I'm 50 now. I was 21 and completely changed my life, and I had to relearn and restart everything again. I spent, like almost a year with 3 doses of diazepam per day to keep me quiet. I was just shouting and screaming, and really completely lost the plot. And it was a warm, very hot day like that one. And now I'm here sitting in the car and enjoying, like I've got my journal, I've got the book I'm reading, the first volume of the Psycho-Ekeda by the Lotus Sutra, and I've got my stuff, and I've got my water. I'm actually happy. I'm actually my territory. This is what I like to do. I'm just finding a nice spot by myself, and there is, quiet, peace and quiet. But this took me straight back into an evening at the marina, and I'm wondering if what I'm living now is somehow a post-traumatic stress disorder attack. But besides this, if I'm reliving another post-traumatic stress disorder attack, if actually the anxiety that I felt at that time was brought about by some other traumatic event, and I know one event that could have actually triggered that when I was 8 years old, and something that's been really brushed under the carpet. So I'm wondering if I'm actually reliving now a post-traumatic stress event of another post-traumatic stress event, as in is the sense of anxiety and existential of all this beauty and knowing that it can't last forever. So just because I believe that probably you're gonna leave some notes, and I'm saying the fact, I know I said these things about the fact that it cannot last forever. I'm actually thinking you should be aware that, I mean, in 1976, I was only 8 years old. I actually was living in an area where a big earthquake on the 6th of May actually destroyed the village where I was living. So at the age of 8, a traumatic event as a natural disaster like that is not something easy probably to live. And at the time there was no counseling, there was no psychotherapy, there was no psychology. There was actually the classical attitude of the land of just keep on going, just plod along, just do it, just fucking forget about it, and just bend 90 degrees, bend backwards, and just forward, and whatever it is, and just keep on going. And it happened to me that together with some other stuff and the family that I was coming from, with the alcohol addiction of my parents, probably that triggered then the massive panic attack when I was 21. And now I'm reconnecting with all these parts of myself because of my job. And as much as one thing that is I want to stress, as much as it is painful and painful and yeah, probably painful and I don't know, there is a raw there is a part of me which is now is very raw, that comes out, and very vulnerable. I know at the same time that it is the right thing to do. We need to cross this bridge, and in actually feeling exactly what we feel, because there is nothing wrong in feeling pain and feeling that you are left at times with absolutely no answers and no questions. If you think, if I had some answers, probably I would know what the questions are. If I had some questions, I know that somehow, somewhere, I can find some answers. Instead, there are times in which there's nothing, but it's still okay. So thank you very much for this. I know this is getting a bit long, so I'm gonna close now. So yes, earthquake, panic attack, and just being brought back now by this amazing evening that we are having here in Lancashire.